'Cause every time we touch, I get this feeling. And every time we kiss, I swear I can fly. Can't you feel my heart beat fast? I want this to last. I need you by my side.
Welcome everybody back to another episode of the Slowburn Show. We're on episode number 8, The Great. Another star-studded card that we have ahead of us. But before we get into all of that, we'll start with some topics. You have any non-MMA ones to start us out?
Um, well, you didn't know. Uh, the Tennessee government found that there was dihydrogen monoxide in all of our water, which is kind of
Wait,
crazy, isn't it?
no, I don't really know what that is, but you're saying it's in our
Yeah,
water, and it doesn't sound like the best chemical, I guess.
yeah. Dihydrogen monoxide, H2O, man.
Oh, fuck.
I don't really know. I don't think I got too many topics. I'm just trying to fix my pants.
Okay. You got that.
Yeah.
So you should show the pod your these very wonderful pants that you got.
I can't. I don't know how to.
They're
I should
they're
probably just stood up. Why did I
yeah,
do that?
they're pants slash shorts. That works. Yep.
Oh, yo,
See,
you
you
sound real
got.
nice without the legs.
Yep.
Huh?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hold on.
I think I'll just do the podcast from here.
What if you only had it like halfway zip, like how your right leg is? Like, what if that's how they were styled? That's how
I
you
mean,
styled them.
hey, that wouldn't look too bad. Hold on,
They could work.
Nice.
But
Yeah.
the the only MMA pod like topic I have is that Conor is like that that woman I talked about that said that he like punched her and kicked her off at his yacht and she
Oh
had to
yeah.
get rescued by the Coast Guard. Well, apparently she dropped all those charges. So I guess either she was tripping or maybe like Connor's involved with the mob and made her like scared or something because I saw a comment trend on Twitter that said like they burnt her car on fire and were doing a little bit more than that as well. I can't remember all the
Yeah. Connor's
details.
burn.
Well, it seemed like I guess that was like their tactic to like scare her to drop charges. I mean, that could be
Oh
fake as
shit!
well.
I just realized my head was literally this close to hitting the fucking fan.
Oh, is your fan going?
Yeah.
Jeez. Imagine
I
we just
didn't even
hear
realize that.
bonk. That would have been a great way. That would have been a
Yeah.
clip. That would have been a clip. But and also the only other MMA topic I have along with that is also Conor. Him bringing in 3 of his own guys into Tough and basically like storming the gates with his own guys and saying these guys are going to be on my team and even the fighters that had to fight to get into the house, they'll do those like pre-fights to just make it in. Even those guys that won had to get kicked off and sent home even after making it because Conor showed up with his own guys.
I think that's kind of whack.
It is
I was
whack.
looking at it.
It's whack and savage all at the same time.
Yeah. I mean, hey, if you're him, you can do whatever you want. But like, yeah. But I was looking at the like the lineup. Is it like normal for them to be like not like super young? Like they're like all like their
Mhm.
late 20s,
Yeah,
early 30s.
actually, in the last Ultimate Fighter, like literally last season, there was a guy that was 40, I think. His name was Bobby Maximus. He might not be 40, but he was pretty damn old, and he had gray hair and everything, and he was on there. But yeah, they'll mix it up. It's honestly like those guys could have been like filler dudes that just so happened to like slide in at the right time and be able to make it to the pre-fights, and then they maybe won their fight and they made it onto the team or whatever, onto the squad, the cast.
Yeah, yeah.
But
I was also another UFC MMA topic. One of my favorite fighters is fighting on your card.
oh yeah,
Robert Taylor.
yep, Robert Taylor. I
That
wonder
was.
if you think he's probably off probation now, right?
I don't know, but that was the best post-fight interview I've ever heard.
Yeah. What'd he say?
Shout out Robert's PO.
What? Yeah. Is
Shout
it?
out my PO.
Yeah. He won his fight by like head kick knockout, and then he gets on the
Did you
mic and
watch it? It's on
I've seen the knockout.
Yeah.
I didn't watch it live because I was in the back like hurling up blood and shit. But he was like he got like a. I've watched the highlights of Primal Combat 3, and yeah, he got like a nasty head kick KO, and then yeah, he gets on the mic and says shout out to my PO, He was the only reason I could
Yeah.
make it. And they gave out those like big chains for knockout of the night, and he
Yeah.
got that, so that was pretty cool. But yeah, we'll
They gonna
be.
do that again?
I don't know if they're gonna do those again, but I'm excited to be able to be on the same card as him again. That would be
Yeah, that was sick.
maybe it'd be some good luck. We'll go get some finishes again. We both got to finish
He's
that
got
night.
dreads now. He didn't have dreads the
Yeah,
last time.
we both got to finish last time. Maybe we'll both get a finish again.
That's right.
But I don't really have any more topics in general, unless you do.
I don't. I just be working, man.
Yep.
I don't know anything going on with the world right now. That's like AI stuff,
And Chinese balloons.
Chinese balloons. Oh
Uh,
yeah, the AI stuff's weird.
yeah,
I
that
no,
the
we saw
Chat
that last week
GPT,
actually.
Chat
Yeah, with
GPT
like
stuff.
yeah, and the mimicking of voices.
Oh yeah, yeah. Well, I guess we could just move into the super star-studded Slowburn Showdown that we're gonna have this week. Uh, First fight on the main card is actually a guy, one of the guys I seen in person at one of my teammates' fights out in Knoxville. Me and my cousin went to Knoxville to watch Xavier Cox do a kickboxing fight, and after the fight, when we were leaving, uh, we saw this guy because they did like a showcase at the event for Trevor Peak, and
Yeah,
like we're like showing because he fought for Aries and everything. He's fought for the same organization I just fought for last, but as a pro fighter, and like won their belt and everything. And when we were leaving the event, me and my cousin saw him, but he was on the phone, so we didn't get to talk to him, or we didn't want to bother him either. And plus, you kind of don't want to bother a guy you know is 7-0 with 7 knockouts. It's kind of like you don't want to tempt that motherfucker if anybody. So we just left him alone. But it was pretty cool to be like that close to a guy that now is making his debut this weekend in the UFC uh,
yeah.
against Erick Gonzalez. Trevor Peak's coming in at -225, and Erick Gonzalez is +165. But I'll go ahead and give my pick. I'm gonna ride with the guy that I've seen actually in person. One, not only, and that's kind of like a bias a little bit because I've seen him before and I just know about him, and kind of he's from Alabama, but he's fought in the same organization I fought for.
Mm.
So uh, there may be a little bit of bias there, but I think he's going to go out there and knock out Erick Gonzalez and get another knockout on his record, be 8-0 with
Oh
8
yeah,
knockouts. What about you?
I'm with that too. Wait, and I'm looking here. I didn't see. I didn't notice Jordan Levitt was gonna be on it.
Yep, he's on the prelims
Monkey
though.
King.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah. He'll be a part of my parlay later. My three fighter parlay. But yeah, that's really all I got on that one. I really don't have much besides. I know I've seen Erick Gonzalez fight. Both fights he lost. Uh, Nothing more than that. That maybe he just needs to work on his skills more. And my teammate actually told me one thing about Trevor Peak at sparring last night. He said, Trevor Peak for his first fight ever, well, like first like I guess like
Pro.
sanctioned, no, just
Sanctioned.
sanctioned fight like amateur. He like before he even took it, he like made his own MMA organization with his friends, and they were like fighting each other and shit.
Yeah.
And then or like something like that. And then he was trying to get on the phone with promoters or something and get a fight, and he didn't even know when he was showing up that it was going to be like a sanction, like in a cage type of thing. He thought he was showing up for a street fight, and then ended up being in a cage. And he said he got put in a triangle and had no clue how to defend it, and he just picked the dude up and slammed him, and ended up finishing the guy. So this guy Trevor Peak is like he's built a little different. I
Oh
think.
yeah.
He think
I've watched some like one or two of his like previous fights, and he hits.
he's a
He hits.
155er that hits like a freaking middleweight, dude. The way he throws his punches with the most vicious intent, it's like almost anybody in the world's getting knocked
Mm-hmm.
out by those punches. I'm excited for that one. That one's just to start the main card, and of that'll probably be the most excited fight of the night for
Wait,
me.
that's the main card. I thought that was the last prelim.
No, that's the first fight on the main card.
Oh hell yeah.
They're doing 6 fights on the main card this time for some reason instead of 5.
I'm with it.
Yeah. Even though there's not a single ranked fighter until the co-main event. Uh, so I guess they're just trying to get a bunch of these guys some fights and fill it up.
Mm.
if that makes sense. But we can move on to Mike Malott versus Yohan Lainesse. We should almost do like a little segment to where we see if one of us can pronounce one of these words correctly because or one of these last names correctly because
Yohan Lainesse gonna win, man.
Lainesse
Lainesse, man.
is that
Oh, I
Lainesse?
smell like. Oh, I have no clue. It just looks like Lainesse to me.
He looks like he smells like Lainesse. Lainesse?
Mm-hmm.
But that's who you got, Yohan.
Yeah,
Imagine
I just
growing up with
saw
the
that
name
Mike
Yohan.
was from. He's from Canada,
Yeah.
I think.
Does that
I
put
was
you
just like,
off?
I don't see a Canadian winning.
He's the
I don't
giant
know.
favorite.
Oh, he's the giant favorite. Damn.
He's like
I was
minus
thinking.
225 and Johan is plus 165.
I don't know. I don't like Johan's his build on his head.
Yeah, he's built a little weird. And like he almost has the body type, the best body type for fighting, but he's almost like square. As I don't even know how to explain it,
But
but
I had this thought. I was kind of like, I've never seen a Canadian. I can't remember a Canadian in like the top, like a top ranked Canadian. So I was just kind of like,
you don't
he might
remember
be good until
GSP?
he gets ranked. Okay,
GSP?
who? Oh, I thought he was. I keep on thinking he's French, but he's French Canadian, I guess.
Yeah, he's from Canada.
Never
Uh,
mind. Take that back. I'm going with Lainesse, I guess.
yeah, I think Lainesse, I guess that's what we're gonna call him. Uh, I think he's the better fighter. When I go back and watch both of their fights, I think Lainesse is the better of the
He's
two.
also from Canada.
They're both from Canada. Oh, jeez. Well, I think Johan's a better fighter, but I think Mike Malott has the better, almost like grit in him. I mean, like he's a little bit more meaner, if that makes any sense. And I think that'll play
Makes
in.
sense to me.
Think that'll play into his favor, fighting a fellow countryman of his. Maybe Johan doesn't want to punch a fellow Canadian, and he'll say sorry every time he punches him in the fight. But that's what I'm gonna pick. I'm gonna go against you and pick Malott at the minus 225 line. And you'll
Go.
take Johan at plus 165. Now, the return of Tatiana Suarez versus Montella de la Rosa. I think it's been 3 years since Tatiana's been back, if I'm correct. And that is a giant layoff, but I think she's coming back against the correct skill level of opponent if she from taking that long time off. She's coming back against an unranked fighter who I can't remember if Montana won or lost her last fight, but she's not top of the division, but she's obviously anybody in the UFC is a decent fighter. So,
Yeah.
what do you think? Who do you think is gonna win?
Going with Montana.
You're gonna take the big
Oh yeah.
plus 490.
Yeah.
Tatiana Suarez is coming in at minus 925, so that's a giant risk if anybody was to take that at any it's straight up if that makes sense. And I,
I see 9-0. I just think
she's
that one.
she's the one.
Montana's the one.
Uh,
I couldn't point out Montana on the map, but I mean, somewhere around there.
Tot, I saw a thing on Twitter. Ariel Helwani posted that like 90% or 85% of the money on this fight is going on Montella de la Rosa. Like a lot of people are believing in Montella de la Rosa being the person to upset Suarez. And I feel like I'm risking it real big here, but I'm gonna take Suarez at minus 925 and risk $925 for 100. And I'm gonna be in real pain if I see De La Rosa get this upset. But I mean, anything's possible. It's fighting, so
Fighting, all it takes is one.
right. Uh, the next fight, a pair of heavyweights, Augusto Sakai against Don'Tale Mayes. And Sakai is minus 120 and Don'Tale Mayes is plus 100. Last time I watched Don'Tale Mayes fight, I I'm pretty sure I picked him when I was doing these picks last year. It was last year when I watched him fight, and I'm gonna be honest. After the fight, I was completely pissed at how shitty he fought
Oh shit.
and how shitty both the guys fought, honestly, because I'm pretty sure I picked the fight to end in under 1.5 as well, and I was just pissed because both heavyweights showed a very like lack of skill, and it was like this is the to me it was the highest level being in the UFC low skill fight I've ever seen. Uh,
Mhm.
but Augusto Sakai isn't the best ever. I'm pretty sure he's on a 4-fight losing streak, and all maybe even 4 of them by finish. And anybody on a 4-fight losing streak is not doing too hot. So this is definitely a fight to see who stays in the UFC. I think whoever loses is gonna get uh, kicked off the
Boot.
roster. Yeah.
Mhm.
So who do you think is getting the boot?
I think Augusto is gonna get the boot because Don't Tell Mays is gonna win that.
Are you looking at the reach?
No. Oh, that's a big reach. 81 inches. That's a lot of length right there. That's a lot of girth.
The thing about that is like the guy he fought before this was shorter, with way shorter and way shorter reach than Augusto Sakai. But I think I'm solely picking Sakai on because I was so mad at Dontel for the last fight that I was like, there's no like you should have won that fight by all means, but you just showed such a lack of skill and fight IQ that you couldn't get it done. So we're going
Yeah,
against.
I just saw what's his name's tattoos. Can I change? I don't like his tattoos.
Yeah, you want to
It
go.
kind of looks like a Louis Vuitton bag.
You
I
want
don't know
to.
if that's what he was going for.
You want to
But I'm
go
going
with.
with Augusto Sakai.
Yeah, we'll go.
The Sakai's a kind of a cool name.
We'll both go Augusto Sakai at minus 120, risk 120 for $100. And I think the line is set perfect on this fight with almost a pick 'em with Dontel being the underdog just based off. I mean, if you're a
Some of his
favorite,
fights.
if you yeah, it just really his last fight in general. I didn't really watch much of the fights before that one, but his last fight was absolute garbage. And
Mm.
but if coming off 4 losses and being the favorite, I wonder if that will play too much into like his own head if he because I wonder if any of these fighters be checking the betting lines now after even
uh,
after like them being banned not being able to bet, do they go and see if they're the favorite or the underdog or not? I would because I'm just nosy as
oh
fuck.
yeah, for sure.
But yeah, we'll both take Sakai. Moving on to the co-main event with our first ranked fighter of the night, Andre Muniz, number 11 in the middleweight division, against Brendan Allen. What are your thoughts?
I think it'll be a good fight. I don't know how it will end because I don't know any of these people. But I saw a picture of Brendan Allen and he has a mullet. So he bowed it, and he's gonna win.
I agree.
That's my pick.
I think it's going to be a great fight as well, just because both of these guys are jujitsu specialists, and that essentially, anytime there's two grapplers that go against each other, it sometimes turns into a striking fest, just because no guy wants to go to the ground and test their skills against the other in that
Mm-hmm.
department. So, and I think if it comes down to that, if it does come down to a striking match, I think Brendan Allen will win that on the feet, just because.
South Carolina.
South Carolina, them boys,
They got some fighters down
them
there up
Southern
there.
boys raised different. And this is actually a big fight for him too. If you think about it, if you put yourself in Brendan Allen's shoes, and if you look at the lines, you see I'm the underdog, I'm unranked, I'm going against the number 11 fighter, and he's been in the Brendan Allen's been in the UFC for a minute. It's not like he's just coming in. He's young. He's like 27, but he definitely needs to start getting some momentum to get to the top of the division and hopefully seek championship aspirations. But yeah, we'll both. So you'll take Brendan Allen, and I'll take him as well at plus 175. And I think that could end up being the fight of the night, in my opinion. Do you remember when Andre Muniz snapped Jacare Souza's arm?
No,
He
I've definitely seen it.
It was like Jacare when his arm snapped, he just sat there like no emotion, just looked down at it. Didn't
I
even
thought that
make
was Jamal Hill that did that.
he did the same
Oh,
thing.
same thing.
Yeah, but
Okay.
a little bit different submission because Paul Craig had like a triangle on Jamal Hill. and was like had already broken his arm with an armbar, and then had the triangle on him with the broken arm, was like elbowing him. But Andre Muniz, when he went against Jacare, he took his back, and Jacare was trying to slide out like underneath between his legs, and he got an armbar, and it completely snapped. Like you could hear the noise of it snap on live TV, and Jacare didn't even like make a wince or anything. The ref just stopped the fight, and he just sits there and is looking at his messed up arm. It was pretty gross. Um, but yeah, I think he has a great submission game, but so does Brendan Allen. So I think those will negate each other. Moving on to the main event, number 6, Nikita Krylov coming in at minus 185 versus Ryan Spann, the number 8 contender, at plus 140. What are your thoughts first?
um, Ryan Spann, I've heard of him a couple times. I'm probably have seen him because I've seen that Superman tattoo before. But I literally don't know Krylov. But hey, you gotta root for Ryan Spann. He's from Memphis,
Is he
so
really?
the best state. He's fighting out of Beaumont, Texas. But he's from Memphis,
Okay.
and we gotta root for the boys back home.
Yeah.
Right.
He one thing about him, he said the first time he ever really trained for a fight was his last one against Dominic Reyes. Like that was the first fight he ever trained for, and I'm not gonna lie, like watching that fight, and if you watch that fight from some angles, it looks like Ryan Spann just has this like godly power because he like almost knocked him out with a jab. Like he jabbed him, and
Yeah, I think I've seen that one.
yeah, like he jabbed him, and then it seemed like he was pretty much out from there, and he hit him again, but it seemed like he didn't even need to do that. He was already out from the jab, and then obviously he got some extra ones in there, but it was pretty brutal knockout. And
Oh yeah.
if that's what
Johnny Walker too.
I think, he got knocked out by Johnny Walker.
Damn. He elbowed him in the back of the head,
Dang.
and then he knocked him out.
But yeah, I'm gonna go with you. I think Ryan Spann's gonna pull this one out, and I'm basically basing that off of him saying that he's training for fights now. And if if I see what he looks like when he says he's training, I mean, not every fighter says the truth, but
Mm-hmm.
uh, if that's what he looks like when he's training, I'm gonna take that Ryan Spann almost over a lot of light heavyweights in the division, especially Nikita Krylov, who just had a not so good performance against Paul Craig his last time out. Oh wait, was that his last fight? Nikita Krylov's last fight?
His last fight was against Victor Volkan
Oh
Ozdemir.
yeah, and he won a
And he
decision.
fought Alexander Gustafsson. He beat him.
That's right, he knocked him out. And I thought Gustafsson was gonna beat him, and I watched him get knocked down inside of like a minute or something, or inside 2 minutes for sure. And I was sad.
Yeah. Round 1, a minute and 7 seconds.
If you're a better, I would bet on this fight being like the under, whatever it's at. If it's at under 2.5 or under 3.5, I would definitely take that on this fight because these guys come out swinging, and usually the fights are crazy with them right off the bat. Well, that pretty much does it for the Slowburn Showdown. Now I just got these swink slips. Oh, I didn't really recap before I do the swink slips. I didn't recap how we did last week. Last week, we really didn't even talk about that card at all. Do you want to go? We could run through it real quick.
We can do quick. I mean, who was on that card?
Jim Miller and Alexander Hernandez was the first fight.
Oh yeah,
That was
I got that one wrong.
Yep. Did you watch the fights? Actually,
I watched the Erick Blanchfield finish.
the main event.
I watched the highlights of it.
Honestly, that's the only one that we really could touch on because all the other fights are kind of más o menos, and
Decision.
yeah,
Decision.
yeah,
The whole card was decisions besides the submission.
yeah. That's crazy. I didn't even notice that until you said that, but that's right. And they were all really, all of them were. Besides Jim Miller and Alexander Hernandez, that fight was actually pretty awesome. It was good to watch. The
Did
rest
he
of
retire?
no, he wants to retire on UFC 300.
Damn, he got a wild the go.
Yeah, well, I mean, 287's in April, so 13 after that. So I would say, like, yeah, he's still got another 2 years probably, or a
Yeah,
year
that's
and a
not
half.
that old actually. He's only 39.
He got time to wait until 300. He
Yeah.
just needs to take some breaks. I mean, he's not. I mean, he's definitely getting older. And if you watch his fight with Alexander Hernandez, it was like we're on the end of it. We're on the end of the career of Jim Miller.
Mm-hmm.
But the main event was also awesome. Erin Blanchfield's striking has gotten better, and I can just tell like every time Erin Blanchfield fights, she gets better and she shows that she's getting better in every fight. And
Mm-hmm.
her striking has definitely improved. And she did take some shots from Andrade, but at the end of the day, like Erin Blanchfield was like throwing punches and bunches and landing her own combos as well on the feet and wasn't afraid to engage in that aspect as much as I thought she was going to be. And whenever she did take her back, it was pretty much game over from there. Uh, but I was glad I got to see my pick, Erin Blanchfield, with by sub and with the most takedowns. That one cashed, and that made me pretty happy. But on the night, I risked $705 and I came away with 810, so I had a positive of 105. Kobe risked 895 and came away with ended up having 745 at the end of the night, so that put him at minus 150. So on the year, that puts us at we're both still in the negative. Kobe's at minus 470. I'm at minus 124.97. So
We're gonna hit that curve. We're gonna get around that corner.
yeah,
We're gonna take off pretty soon. This one is where it turns.
right. This is
If
the
we have the
turning
same
point.
picks, hey, that means we're on the same wavelength.
Right. I
That
agree.
means line up in sign language. You know what I'm saying?
I agree.
We lining it up.
Unless yeah, we both are taking Trevor Peak. You're taking
That's right.
Yohan, but I'm taking Mike. You're taking De La Rosa, I'm taking Suarez. We're both taking Sakai, both taking Allen, and both taking Spann. So yeah, this is the tournament week. We're both going positive this week. As long as I don't, as long as I mean, if your De La Rosa picks Hicks, I'm a
Hey, that lock of the night on her.
yeah. If she comes through, you're definitely gonna be balling on the
Hey,
week.
lock of the night.
Balling on the
You
week.
heard it here.
Is that?
Here.
Are you really doing that?
That's my lock of the night. I forgot that was a thing until you reminded me.
How many?
Balling on her.
How much? You can
How
put
much I can put?
you can put up to 500.
We put 500 on it.
500 on
Mhm.
Montella de la Rosa.
I got a sign. Something came to me.
If
Take it
dude,
this
if she I'm gonna have that. I'm gonna put it on here. But if she ends up doing that, you got to get like a poster of her on your wall, dude.
I will.
A
It'll be
fat
hilarious
head.
because I don't even. The only reason this is even here is to cover up a spot on the
Yeah,
wall. So if this does hit, I'm gonna put money on it too, on my actual DraftKings.
Montella de la
My
Rosa.
actual betting app. Not 500.
Right.
No, we put 500 on her.
Yeah.
And then I'll put it right
Big
here.
bump.
With
Yes.
money I win.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, a fat head of her. If they even make
Mm-hmm.
fat heads of De La Rosa, I'm sure you can get one made.
We going up.
But I'll move to my swing slips and run through them really quick. My underdog of the night is Ryan Spann, and that's essentially because I think the line should have been the other way. Honestly, I think Ryan Spann should have been the favorite, and I think the line was just set incorrectly. So I'm gonna try and take advantage of it.
Mm-hmm.
So I'll risk $100 for 140 on that one. My prop of the night is Trevor Peak by KO/TKO, and that's I got that at minus 135. And the only reason that I wouldn't pick Trevor Peak straight up is because really, if Trevor Peak's gonna win, he's gonna knock the dude out. So you might as well just
Right.
pick that line and don't pick the minus 200 and something line. And so I got him at minus 135, so we'll risk 135 for 100. Uh, my Slowburn slick pick is Brendan Allen by KO/TKO or decision. So if Brendan Allen knocks him out or he wins by decision, you'll cash this bet. And I got that at plus 240, which was a great line to me. If you really want to risk it on Brendan Allen, you really think he's going to get the job done, him by KO/TKO is plus 750 by itself. So risk $100 to win 750 there if you want to risk it. But I'm going to pick that just in case the fight does go the distance. I think Brendan Allen's going to be the one that outclass Andre Muniz on the feet, and he'll get the decision. So I'll pick him by double chance, KO/TKO or decision at plus 240. Risk $100 for 240. My next and final swing slip of the night is my 3-fighter parlay, and I'm going to take Tatiana Suarez, Charles Johnson, and Jordan Levitt and put them all in the parlay at plus 225. And essentially why I haven't been doing my 3-fighter parlays recently, and that's just because I haven't felt confident with putting 3 fighters together to put a bet on them. So this week I wanted to put some money on Tatiana Suarez, but I didn't want to risk or put money on a minus 900 line. So I thought if I'm going to bet on Suarez, I'm going to put 2 other people with her. So Charles Johnson and Jordan Levitt will have to carry the weight into that. So hopefully they can do that. And I have that at plus 225, risk $100 for 225.
I got a 3-fighter finish slip. I don't know what the fuck that's called.
Oh yeah? Who
I got Jordan Levitt to win by submission.
Okay.
Trevor Peak to win by KO.
Okay.
TKO. That's DQ. And Brendan Allen to win by KO.
Okay.
And that together is a plus 4,042.
Is it really?
It sure is.
That's freaking awesome.
Win by TKO.
See, this is what
750.
this is what needs to be put in the swing slips. You need to have like this just random bet that's like over. Your bet has to be over plus 1,000 every time. All right, it has to be over plus 1,000. We'll call it like Kobe's pick of the week or something. We'll make up a cool name for it. So you heard it here. What is it again? And it's at plus 4,000 and something.
It's at plus 4,042.
Oh my.
That's Jordan Levitt to win by submission. Trevor Peak to win by KO, TKO, whatever. Brendan Allen to win by KO, TKO, whatever.
Okay, so if at the plus 4,000 line, that means if you risk $100, you'll come away with 4,000 profit, and that would be a big boost to the swing slips and to the whole show in general, because that would be awesome if that hit. I'm gonna put money on that, knowing that it's at 4,000. That's pretty.
Yep.
I would definitely risk it for the biscuit on that one.
Mods.
$10 for 400.
Mm-hmm.
That ain't bad. I like that. Any closing thoughts?
Next week, I know these fighters. I know these fighters.
We have John Jones versus Gon next week. UFC 286 or
yeah, 285.
285. That's right, because 286 is Usman Edwards 3. And then
this picture of Bo Nickel, you can't even see him. He's so pale.
And Bo Nickel's next. He's the co-main event next week, right?
Bo Nickel is the opening of the main card. The co-main event, co is Jeff Neal and Shavkat Rakhmonov. Yep. The co-main event is Valentina Shevchenko versus Alexa Grassa. So.
Okay. And I think Shevchenko gets that done relatively easy. She'll probably be. Shevchenko will probably be my lock, even though. Actually, she can't be my lock if she's over minus 500. So. But. You have a lock this week. I think this is your first lock in how long?
Montana.
De La Rosa. Yeah, you do. If she wins, you got to get a poster for sure.
Oh yeah.
But we'll end it on that. I'll see you guys. I appreciate everybody joining.